Hey, cool cats! For your 3D crystal formation drawing today, you will need a piece of paper, a pencil, eraser, and a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, any straight edge would work. Anything you can find with a nice straight edge on it will work to trace some straight lines. That's all you need it for, is to draw yourself some nice straight lines today. When you're ready to draw, make a decision about the layout of your picture. Do you want a vertical layout for a tall set of crystals, or do you want a horizontal layout for a wider set of crystals? Once that's decided, you are ready to draw. The first step to draw the crystals is to draw a bunch of polygons in the top half of your paper. Polygons are shapes made of all straight lines. So triangles, squares, rectangles, and hexagons are just some examples of polygons. A circle or an oval is not a polygon because circles and ovals have curved sides, and all polygons have straight sides only. So, using your ruler or straight edge and your pencil, draw a bunch of polygons in the top half of your paper. Make sure to include many different types of polygons in many different sizes. The number of polygons you draw is going to be the number of crystals you will have in your picture. Okay, so now I have a nice number of polygons going on. I've got some triangles, some diamonds, and some other polygons that I'm not sure what they're called. They're all in the top half of my paper, and I'm ready to add some form to these shapes. Form is an element of art that means 3D, or looks 3D. We're going to add some dimension to each of our polygons with some extra lines. Check it out. On each polygon I drew, I'm drawing at least 2 lines coming off of each, making sure those lines connect somehow. Most of the time it looks like I'm adding a triangle to each one. You get to decide how many lines to add to each polygon, but you do have to add lines of some kind to each one you draw. Now, as you can see, these polygons now look like they have form, or they look 3D just by adding a few simple lines. Each line added creates dimension to the shape. So we've created the tops of the crystals, now we need to create the bottoms of the crystals. Find the bottom middle of the paper with your finger and then scooch it up a bit. Draw a dot to measure. Using your straight edge again, draw a straight line that connects the bottom corners of each polygon down to the dot. You only have to connect the bottom corners of each polygon to the dot. As you continue drawing lines from the bottom of each polygon, you may notice that some crystals get in the way of the other crystals. In that case, you'll have to decide which crystal you want to have in front of the other one. I want this crystal to look like it's behind this one, so when I draw my lines from the corners, I'm going to stop the lines as soon as they hit the crystal in front. This is called overlap. Another way to give any picture form and dimension. So the crystals in the back row here are definitely going to have to be behind the front row, right? So I will make sure to stop my lines as soon as they hit the front crystals. The last thing to make your crystals even more crystal-like, you may want to add some more lines connecting the corners up in the tops of your crystals. Where you choose to put the lines is up to you, and how many you want to put is up to you. Just make sure that any lines you add connect from corner to corner. Now that all of this is done, you can see another amazing trick of the eye that artists use called perspective. Perspective is drawing lines at an angle to make it look like something is disappearing into space, which gives your drawing even more 3D form. At the bottom of your crystal formation, draw a rock shape. The rock shape should go well around the dot at the bottom, and it should cut off part of your crystals at the bottom. We want the rock to hide the skinny part of the crystals. Once the rock is drawn, erase the dot and lines inside of the rock from the drawing. Now the drawing part is complete. If you have the materials, you may want to outline the drawing with a dark color. I think this really helps to make your drawing pop. I usually use black to outline, but today I decided to use a dark pink since my crystals are going to be pink. Now it's time to color our crystals. You can use crayons or markers or colored pencils to color them in, but I think crayon or colored pencil works the best. We've used a lot of tricks to give our crystals form or to make them look 3D. We've used shapes and lines, overlap, and perspective. Now we're going to use our coloring to make the crystals look even more three-dimensional. We're going to choose a color for our crystals. I chose pink. And then we're going to color lighter or harder in certain areas. This will give each crystal shadows and highlights. When you use dark and light colors to create shadows and highlights, it is an element of art called value. Value helps make flat drawings look 3D. So here we go. With your crayon or marker or colored pencil, press hard to add dark, shadowy areas at the bottom of each crystal, as well as a dark area somewhere in every shape at the tops of the crystals. Remember, to make these dark, shadowy areas, press hard with your coloring tool. These dark areas will be the shadows on the crystals. Now it's time to add medium tones to each shape in each crystal. Lighten up your coloring hand. Press a little lighter and gently color in most of each shape of each crystal, but leave a teeny tiny white space in each shape. These white spaces will be the highlights. Now I'm sure you can see how much more form these crystals have, how much more 3D they look after adding color in different values, light, medium, and dark. Now color in the rock that your crystal is growing out of. Rocks come in all different colors, right? Gray, black, pink, a mixture of all of those. I am going to show you how to use markers to make dark and light values in this rock. Just like the crayons, the harder you press, the darker the color will be. The lighter you press, the lighter the color will be. I just wanted to do that to show you that even if you have markers and not crayons today, you can still make the shadows and highlights in the crystals and in the rock. Your very last job for your crystal artwork is to add some pizzazz to the background. I hope you enjoyed watching your crystal drawing fill out and build up with more and more form. I can't wait to see what you can do.